welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, Dr. Lieselota Schuster, here at the Evanston Animal Shelter. And please join me as we go inside and meet all the cats and the dogs that they have here at the animal shelter. So, Megan, tell me a little bit about your role and about the animal shelter.
Well, I'm a volunteer for CARE for the Evanston Animal Shelter, and that stands for Community Animal Rescue Effort. And we are an all-volunteer organization that does all of the humane activities at the Evanston Animal Shelter. So we do all the veterinary work. We raise money to pay for the vet work for the animals. We do all the adoptions, all the enrichment programs for the animals at the shelter, and we are responsible for care of the animals on nights, weekends, and holidays. And well, actually during the day, weekdays, we have some day volunteers in at the shelter. So it's a grassroots community group that works with the city in order to make sure that the animals find homes and are taken care of while they're at the shelter.
How do you decide that you're a good match for a particular pet?
We use the ASPCA Meet Your Match program, and that is the animals go through a personality profiling while they're here, and when people come in to adopt, they fill out an adoption survey. And we do ask a lot of questions. We ask about their history of having pets, just trying to find out how experienced they are, what kind of pet they're looking for. It's sort of based on the fact that somebody may be gone all day and not be able to give a lot of activity to a dog. Well, we wouldn't match them up with a dog that's really active because the dog's not going to be happy, the owner's not going to be happy. So we really think of ourselves as matchmakers, and when people come in, they need to expect to go through a process and to work with us, but our return rate is very low, and people usually feel like they got more of a personal touch here than...
And now you did say that all of your cats are microchipped. Could you give us a little bit more explanation of what that means?
We use the Avid microchip system, which is one of the more common brands. And when you do microchip your pet, you want to make sure that you get one of the really widely used chips. And those are typically Home Again and Avid. And it's a microchip, and it's the size of about a grain of rice, and it gets injected under their skin. And animal shelters, police departments, and veterinary offices have a scanner. It's kind of like a barcode scanner, sort of, that scans through the skin. So when we get in pets, lost animals, we scan them here to see if there's a microchip. And if there's a chip, it'll beep and it'll light up and it'll show us the number, and then we call a national registry at an 800 number and we find out who the animal is registered to.
Now, you are a no-kill shelter, or do you still have to put some of your pets down if you've had them too long, or what's your protocol?
Okay. We don't euthanize for time or space. We operate under what's called no-kill principles, which is any adoptable animal is adopted out. We do behavior assessments on the animals, and sometimes we do get dogs in that are too aggressive to be adopted out to a normal home. So those dogs are euthanized.
Now, you talked about that you have a lot of volunteers. What are some of the jobs, if a person's interested in volunteering, what could they do?
Well, our organization is a little bit different than a lot of other organizations, is that we are all volunteer, which means we have no paid directors, no paid staff, no paid people. So we really rely on the volunteers to make a commitment to our organization and to show up if they sign up for a shelter shift, to show up for that shift regularly. So we do have in-shelter volunteers are the primary method that people volunteer through, which means they choose either cats or dogs, and they get trained on that because the process is kind of different, and everything you need to know is different for cats than it is for dogs. And you pick a shift that you can adhere to consistently for 6 months. So it's once a week for 6 months. That's kind of what we're looking for, because the training takes so long. because we do rely on the volunteers, you have to be able to handle all different kinds of animals and situations. So there's a lot of training that goes into it. So, King.
So we are outside. You have 2 dog runs. This is what this is?
We actually have
outside?
three off-leash dog runs where the dogs can get out and run around and not have to be on a leash.
So just like the cats, twice a day they get out, the dogs get out to the dog run a couple times a day
Yes,
as well?
yeah, they get out probably, I mean, usually they get 2 or 3 walks in the morning and 2 or 3 walks in the afternoons. Can you sit, King? Can you sit? That's good. Can you down? Down? Very good. Very good. Yeah, so this is all stuff he's learned here. He will definitely benefit from doing some training, so we're recommending that he continues on with classes.
So you provide classes here?
We don't provide them here, but we work with a group called Dog Obedience Group, and we recommend them as a continuation to the programs they've been getting here. And they're in the north Chicago and in the North Shore suburbs.
Oh, okay. Well, is there anything else that you would like people to know about the animals, about the shelter before we say our goodbyes?
Well, we operate out of the Evanston Animal Shelter, and that's located at 2310 Oakton in Evanston. We're across the street from the Home Depot and the PetSmart. Hours for adoption are Monday through Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., so we're here in the evenings on the weekdays. Fridays we're closed, and Saturdays and Sundays we're here from noon to 3:30. And if you have questions about any of the animals you've seen on here, you can call our voicemail, which is 847-705-2653, or check our website, which is care-evanston.org.
Great. Well, once again, thank you so much, Megan. And
thank you.
Again, I'm your host, Dr. Lisa Schuster, for What's Your Story. Remember, always go for your dreams, always go for your passion. And until next time, I'm your host, Dr. Lisa Schuster, for What's Your Story.